What's up guys, Ricio here, and welcome back to Assassin's Creed Origins. Now, we will not be continuing with the hidden ones this week. Instead, we are going to do the Discovery Tour, which has just come out. We may not be doing all of it, or it'd be split into several different parts. But we're going to begin the Discovery Tour in this episode. So let's begin. Yeah, I don't really know what the Discovery Tour is, really. But like, there's no quest or there's no combat in it, and you can be several different characters. That's about all I know. And we're going to begin. Well, I have no idea. I can't do the hidden ones because I need to level up a lot for that, which I have been trying to do, but it's taken a long time. So yeah, for console players, this is a free update, and I think on the PC as well, or you can buy it separately on the PC. Which I think is a bit crap, that you have to pay for it a second time. Ooh. 4 years to develop. God, I never knew it took that long. The Discovery Tour.
Welcome to Discovery Tour.
Ooh.
By Assassin's Creed, Ancient Egypt.
Okay. Guided tours will take you through majestic landscapes and acquainting you with ancient Egypt. Enjoy the vast panorama of this beautiful country through the eyes of your eagle, or use an avatar to climb the very top of the Great Pyramid. Navigate a boat along the banks of the River Nile, or ride a horse across deserts and lush fertile lands. And with the view truly captures your fascination, take pictures using the photo mode and share it with your friends. We hope you enjoy this experience. Ooh. Ooh, we're Aya. Whoa, okay. Alright, let's begin this tour then. Number of stations, 8, region Alexandria. Learn about the design and layout of the city. It take us 6 minutes to do this one. Alright, let's start.
Welcome to Alexandria, planning of the city. Alexander's plan to build his great city began with a verse from Homer's Odyssey. There is, in front of Egypt, in the sea with many swells, an island called Pharos. Guided by these clues, Alexander the Great founded his future city at the western end of the Nile Delta.
Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, wow. This episode might be a bit boring because it is a tour, but I wanted to try it out. Oh, let's see what this next one is.
Though Alexander considered this location ideal for his great city, it presented considerable challenges. Too difficult to access during storms, the surrounding swamps threatened disease, and the limestone soil prevented the growth of healthy crops. However, due to the influence of his mentor Aristotle, Alexander the Great recognized that the true value was its strategic emplacement. Alexander knew that in controlling Pelusium to the east, Memphis to the south, and his crowning glory Alexandria to the west, he would create a triangular stronghold, allowing him to control the entire delta while giving him access to the Mediterranean.
It was very informative. This is. And it's showing you the map as well. That's quite cool. Oh, more info? What's that? Oh, it's just expanding this. Okay, this... Wait, so how do we change avatars then? Oh, we got a lot. We got all these to do. Characters. We could play as... Play as anyone. Well, obviously we could play as Bayek, Aya, Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, William Miles, Layla, Ptolemy, his name. Well, we'll just stick with Aya for a minute.
The Great Walls of Alexandria had a humble beginning. Lacking chalk to outline the future city's foundations, architects were forced to use flour instead. Clouds of migrating birds swept down and ate the flour, erasing the plans. This prompted Alexander to seek guidance from the oracles, who reassured him that his future city was destined to feed a large population.
Huh. So they use flour.
Excavations led by Mahmud Bey el-Falaki in the 19th century revealed that the wall enclosure measured approximately 5.2 kilometers in length and 2.2 kilometers in width. It was roughly 9 meters in height.
Huh. And again, if this isn't your type of video, then I do apologise. But I thought this would be a good idea. To at least have a look. I mean, I might only do one video of this Discovery tour anyway. Because it was new out, I wanted to try it. So we can still see the map. And we can still travel around. But you can also do tours as well, which I think is really cool. It's a very good idea. Passport. Timeline. Oh no, I really like this. This is the stuff that interests me. See, this is what I was saying before about the time setting in Origins. I wanted it to be set around this area. Or even this area, but not like here. Here. Around between the Old Kingdom and the New Kingdom. But, you know, I can't have everything, can I? So I suppose, in a way, this tour... No, if you want to play as a different character in Egypt, you can. Okay, let's see what this one says.
These formidable ancient walls would resist a number of attacks, including fending off the king of Syria in 169 BCE. It wasn't until 295 CE that they eventually fell to Roman Emperor Diocletian, and this only after 8 months of relentless assault.
Hmm. And obviously you can't do combat in this at all. Go in first person. I think that's quite cool. Can we climb still? Oh, yes. We can still climb in first person. Yeah. No, this would be great in VR. This would. This is quite cool. Oh. Is there a setting we can actually change? Now we still call the eagle the mount. Alright, let's stay in first person then.
Alexandria's principal architect, Dinocrates, chose a Hippodamian grid plan. The grid maximized functionality, with wide, straight roads and canals running beneath them. Alexander recognized the military value of the city's design. The wide, parallel streets gave him optimal surveillance of the city, while allowing the unobstructed flow of troops.
I love the history of ancient Egypt, so I'm going to really love this. But it's going to be a very, you know, silent video. From me anyway, because of the narrator and stuff. So let's see what this says.
A central corridor ran from the Mediterranean's north port down to Lake Mareotis to the south. This thoroughfare acted as an unobstructed link for commercial trade and travel between the two ports. Many of the streets were bordered with grand buildings and parks, including Canopic Street, with its impressive gate bordering the eastern end.
Okay. So is this the last one then?
Alexandria was most likely built upon an already existing Egyptian village.
Wow.
Upon its completion, the Egyptians reviled the city, refusing to call it by its founder's name. Instead, they called it Raked, the building, as a mark of disdain, which was later Hellenized into Rakotis. Despite this, the name Alexandria would remain.
Oh. You can now explore ancient Egypt at your own pace or select to choose a new tour. There's loads of different tours just in Alexandria alone. This is an excellent mode they've added, I believe. Because you can still, you know, run around, do whatever you want, except, you know, you can't do combat or the quests, or it doesn't matter what level you are either. Okay, let's see the different avatars. And I think we'll do a couple more tours, I think. And maybe future tours I choose to do, I'll stream them or something. Or if you're really not interested in this, then I won't do any more. I'll just do them by myself. Okay, so let me go... Yeah, here. So does the day and night thing still work? Oh, it does. Okay, cool. I can't even see. Hang on. Okay, this is it. Okay, so this is Aya. If you've played the game, you know who she is. Let's see, Bayek. Right, we don't know who he looks like.
You can use a mount to cover long distances quickly.
Okay, thanks, narrator. I personally don't like him without a beard and his long hair. I just think he looks too... I don't know. Okay, Julius Caesar. Huh. Oh, I think that's cool. Get off the horse. I can't even take people's horses either. Okay. I can run around as Julius Caesar. Can we still climb stuff though? I don't know, let's try it. Here we are. Julius Caesar was an assassin all along. Or a Templar. Trained to be an no. Okay, Cleopatra. She hasn't even moved and she's already out of breath. So I'm assuming we can't die in this mode either.
You can use a mount to cover long distances quickly.
I know. I want to show the people the characters first. Okay. William Miles. Okay, yeah, okay. So this is the closest thing we are gonna get to, you know, playing different characters, I suppose, in Egypt. Okay, let's see who's next. Oh, Layla. First person mode. I wish it was a toggle button for first person mode instead of holding down the aim button. You know, I don't mind it, but I just wish there was. Ptolemy. Run around as the Pharaoh. Bump into a couple of people. I'm your ruler, respect me. Let's climb up here. Kemu? Is that his name? Well, oh god, he looks tiny. See if we die. I guess we don't. Oh, look at his animation. Oh, that's sweet. Who else can we be? Oh, here we are. Another child.
3 things are necessary when exploring Egypt.
Okay.
Water, a good camera,
Yeah.
and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere.
Oh, that was creepy. Can we still use the lifts? Oh. Oh yes, it's that kid. This would be good for as well. No YouTubers who make like sketches from games. You know, people who are really good at animation and stuff. You can do it now. Okay. I'm just going through the different avatars for a minute because I want to... There we go. Oh, no, wrong thing. We're now an actor. Here we are, actor. So weird. An Egyptian woman. There we go. Get off for a minute. A nobleman. Huh. It is loads. I might not go through them all now. Right, so who do we want to be? Now let's go back to Aya.
You can use a mount to cover long distances quickly.
So why is the narrator changed all of a sudden? No, we can't go first person on the horse. Oh well. This is just weird. And it's killing me. The fact there's enemies on horseback around and I can't kill any of them. Like there. Okay, let's do another tour then, I think. Let's go to... I mean, there are loads of different tours we can do. Is there one in the desert? I suppose there won't be, will there? I suppose. We've got all the fast travel points unlocked. Oh yeah, let's go to this one. This is... I don't think this would be a series on YouTube. I was planning on doing one, but I might just leave it for this first video. Only because it's, you know, it's quite boring really. I understand some people don't really want to, you know, go around Egypt touring, I suppose. I mean, I would love to watch somebody do this. So, as always, let me know in the comments below if you want to see me do more of the Discovery Tour. I'm not finished
when exploring Egypt. Water.
We're just gonna do this.
Welcome to Deserts of Egypt.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, I'm not finishing yet. We've only just got started, but okay. So this is the deserts.
Reaching out on either side of the lush Nile are the harsh, arid Western Desert and the mountainous Eastern Desert. They cover nearly 94% of Egypt. Each of these parent deserts have their own microclimate and contain several smaller deserts with a distinctive fauna and flora. Whale fossils were discovered within the depths of the Sahara.
We're right there.
Known as the Valley of the Whales,
There,
this
look.
location is evidence of the seas which once covered the area.
Okay, what's this one?
The White
Oh,
Desert
yeah.
in the northeast of the Sahara owes its name to its white limestone soil, contrasting with the yellow sand. The wind has eroded the rocks of the White Desert into stone mushrooms,
Oh,
the
yeah,
most
there, look.
famous of which is referred to as the Finger of God.
Amazing. I suppose when you're playing the normal game, you don't really stop and look and... Well, I do. Oh, so the last one is all the way down here. Oh, still crouch. The Nile.
The Great Sand Sea is a large unbroken desert that reaches out through western Egypt and eastern Libya. It is home to a unique geological formation known
there.
as Libyan silica glass. The pale yellowish-green material ranges from pebble-sized fragments to glass rocks the size of rough boulders.
So that's where we are. We're in that square somewhere. Tour completed.
3 things are necessary when exploring Egypt: water, a good camera, and an omnipresent voice coming from nowhere.
Okay. Oh, we got one here. Yeah, we're gonna do this one. Huh. That's an interesting hint there. Or tip. Yeah. Okay, let's do this one.
Welcome to Domesticated Animals of Ancient Egypt.
Wait, was that? Was that a guard or was that... I don't know. Hello, donkey.
Agriculture and domesticated livestock were introduced 6,000 years ago. Archaeologists have found traces of cattle, donkeys, pigs, and dogs. Dromedary are thought to have been introduced during the Persian invasion.
Huh. Oh, right, I get it. Okay. Okay. Let's see. I could ride you, couldn't I? No, where's the horse? Okay. I'm just gonna go slowly. But not too slowly. Okay.
Pets were deeply cherished in ancient Egypt. Many illustrations of children often include a pet in the depiction.
Where's it showing a pet? Okay. Oh, next one's all the way up there. Okay, number 3.
One of ancient Egypt's most iconic animals, the cat, wasn't adopted into their daily life until the Middle Kingdom. Since they were so highly capable of killing snakes and rodents, cats were present throughout every period. However, they only became pets sometime during the Middle Kingdom. Prince Thutmose, son of Amenhotep III, had his cat Tamu laid to rest in its own sarcophagi.
Oh yeah, I read something like that before. And the last one of, well, this anyway.
The earliest reference to dogs dates back to 5000 BCE. They were popular pets as they helped hunters and protected herds. They were closely linked to Anubis, the jackal-headed god. Baboons, monkeys, and even falcons were tamed as pets. Each was mummified and buried with as much ceremony as any family member.
That's fair. Well, at least you don't have to go to a museum anymore. Oh, if you want to learn about ancient Egypt, well, either own Assassin's Creed Origins, or you can buy the normal standalone Discovery Tour on the PC on its own. I don't know how much it is, because I don't play on PC. So since this is an enemy camp, yeah, we can just go in there. So can we still die? Just started a fire.
You can use a mount to cover long distances quickly.
Okay, I think we'll do one more. One more of the tour. Let's try and find one which has got loads of things. That's got 8. That's got 9. 4, 6. Oh, that's the same one. I kind of want to do the... That's got 10. And that's got 20. It takes 30 minutes to do that one. Where's the Sphinx? I want to do that one. Oh, that's 22. Alright, we do this one. And then I'll end it after the Sphinx one. Well, I don't know about you, but I love this mode. Really love it. It's exactly what they said it'd be. It's a tour of Egypt. Although I originally thought it was going to be one tour. Not several little tours split up. But I think it's better like that. Okay, so we've got to do the Sphinx. Got 22 points. And it'll take approximately 15 minutes. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Riddles of the Sphinx.
Well, thank you. I'm just going to save the first part here, so bear with me. Okay.
A sphinx was originally meant to be a personification of the king. The human head, wearing pharaonic regalia, was fused with the body of a lion, thus sharing the qualities the powerful animal possessed, namely its power, the swiftness of its attack, and its majestic authority. By these very virtues, it was also considered a symbol of protection. Unsurprisingly, statues of sphinxes could be found along the Dromas, protectors of the path taken by the gods to reach the temples.
And I've always been interested in the Sphinx. What's that picture of? Ooh, what is that of? Oh, here, along here, isn't it? I don't know. Let's get to the next one, which is here.
Over the centuries, enthusiasts and historians alike have wondered, who built the Sphinx? For what purpose? And who does it represent? These questions remain unanswered. Several theories do exist, however, some more credible than others. One theory supposes that Jedefre chose to pay homage to his father Khufu by building the Great Sphinx of Giza. The stone temple on the eastern face of the Sphinx would have been added later on by his brother and successor, Khafre, in order to strengthen the divine worship of their father. It would be the first Egyptian temple oriented with the sun.
Oh. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, sorry about that. Okay. Let's move on.
Another theory suggests that the Sphinx was built by Khafre and was meant to represent him. The arguments to support this hypothesis are based on the fact that the limestone beds used for the main work of the Temple of the Sphinx are geographically and architecturally similar to the Valley Temple of Khafre. Some believe that Khufu himself built the Sphinx, which was later finished under his successors, Jedefre and Khafre. These arguments are based on the stylistics of the engraving, the typology of the nemes, and the absence of a beard at the time of construction.
Oh. Okay.
While ancient Egypt as a whole leaves a rather monochrome vision of its monuments and statuary, it is vital to understand that in ancient times, absolutely everything was painted. The sun, eating away at the pigments of the colors, the sand, the climate, and the implacable impact of time, unfortunately destroyed the glorious colors of the Sphinx of Giza. Documents from an Arab Egyptologist of the 12th century, Abd al-Latif al-Baghdadi, indicate that traces of red were still visible in his time. Today, however, the only color that remains are traces of red close to the ears of the Sphinx, as well as hints of blue and yellow on the nemes, traditional colors for that type of headdress.
On the memes.
The pigments for the color red were man-made, obtained by mixing different products such as clay, quartz sand, and very finely crushed hematite.
Well, the Sphinx knew about memes. I know it's not those memes, I'm just joking. I want to see how big it would be, because if we were here. Because we can go in first person. Oh, that's creepy. I can just imagine that statue just looking down. Oh, that is, yeah. Oh. Yeah. Just imagine that the Sphinx head now just turning towards where we are. Yeah, that's a horror game right there. It could even exist. I don't know. Okay.
Red had a strong symbolism in ancient Egypt. It was both the color of life and the color of death. It could represent the sands of the desert or the brilliance of the sun. Red was also associated with the god Seth, vengeful and destructive. The Egyptian word for red, Deshur, is also the word which was used to signify the desert, or the royal crown of Lower Egypt. In art, red was also the color used to paint the bodies of men, while yellow was used for women. It is possible that there were also color restoration efforts during the Saite period about 600 years before Cleopatra's rule, as indicated by notes on the inventory stele, discovered in 1858 by Auguste Mariette. It is because of this that the team made the decision to display it with its full range of colors, even though the Sphinx's colors would have likely faded by Cleopatra's time.
Are they talking about Ubisoft then? Yeah, oh yeah, behind the scenes. Wow, that's cool. Oh, that's cool. He's just telling us how the team made the game as well. It's very interesting.
Dating from the 4th dynasty, approximately 2600 to 2500 BCE, The Great Sphinx of Giza is the oldest and largest sphinx that we know of. Carved from a natural limestone outcrop, the Sphinx measures 19.8 meters in height, 73.2 meters in length, and 14 meters in width.
So quite big then. Oh, that's a cool drawing. Okay. Although personally, I'm more interested in the history of Egypt rather than how the game was developed, if you know what I mean. I mean, it's interesting, but I'm much more interested in the history of Egypt myself. Oh, here we are.
In order to bring polish to the imposing monument, several blocks of limestone were added after the initial construction phase. Since then, there have been numerous attempts at preservation. The polish present in the game integrates some aspects of modern restoration attempts. The team made this choice to present a more iconic version of the Sphinx of Giza to the player. Today, the Sphinx is called the Terrifying One.
Is it?
This appellation is translated from its Arabic name, Abu al-Hal, which in turn was derived from Baluba in Coptic.
No, I never knew it was called the Terrifying One. Oh.
The Sphinx as a whole was carved in situ from a natural stone promontory. Its head was built in a limestone peak of the Mukattam Plate, and the body was sculpted in the underlying rock layer where it is located. The degradation of the Sphinx is due in particular to wind erosion and the different quality of limestone used in its construction. The level of sodium contained in the groundwater which abuts the stone is also a contributing factor.
Ooh, look at that. So that's when? Oh, 19th century. Looks creepy. A little bit. No, it's not scary to look at, but it just looks, you know. Yeah. Okay, we got a lot of these to go through, so.
The natural bedrock is seen through the oblique natural strata of the Sphinx's body that are similar to the surrounding limestone.
Okay. That's a cool picture.
Since antiquity, people have always believed there was a hidden tomb deep within the Sphinx. It is thought that attempts to plunder the Sphinx began as far back as the First Intermediate Period. Since then, numerous attempts to pierce the Sphinx's secrets have been carried out, leaving indelible scars upon the monument.
Well, the game, it's not showing me the game. Maybe they did this so people who haven't played the game yet, it won't spoil the, you know, secret under the Sphinx. Yeah. It didn't want to show where it was. Oh, okay, I understand. Okay. Or did it just do that for me? Because I pressed X. I don't know. If it was my fault, then ignore what I said.
12 meters long and cut during pharaonic times, another entrance in the back of the Sphinx aroused curiosity. Although Thutmose IV attempted to seal it off, it was possibly reopened by treasure hunters. It was rediscovered by Howard Vyse and mapped more recently by Mark Lehner. This entrance at the back of the Sphinx leads to different cavities of a few meters each, in directions going inside the statue's body and under the surface. The team has used this opportunity to extrapolate a little more.
So ignore everything that I just said. Actually, hang on. Oh, never
12
mind.
meters long and cut during pharaonic
Never mind.
times, another entrance in the back of the Sphinx.
This one.
While there have been no major discoveries pertaining to the Sphinx of Giza in recent years, theories and hypotheses continue to emerge. Without validation provided by archaeological sources, however, they remain unsubstantiated.
Hmm, okay. Look how big it looks. You know. Looks amazing. From first person.
The first of the main theories as to the Sphinx of Giza's meaning posits that the Sphinx was originally a massive representation of the god Anubis. Its principal arguments are that the head of the Sphinx is disproportionate compared to the size of its body. The second theory believes that the representation of two sphinxes on the stela of Thutmose IV would indicate that another stone sphinx had existed on the site itself, possibly even in paired symmetry on the other side of the Nile. However, neither of these theories can be verified in any way.
We need time machines. That's the only way we know. Oh yeah. Yeah. I believe that's true.
Several scientific projects using new technologies have been put in place in the past decades. The most important was led by Mark Lehner and his team, who specialize in the study and survey of the Giza Plateau, including the Sphinx site. The mapping made it possible to see the materials used to construct the Sphinx, analyze the different layers of erosion, and figure out the most fragile areas to protect. After a few attempts at giving the Sphinx artistic proportions, the team instead decided to use photogrammetry mapping to faithfully reproduce the proportions of the Sphinx.
So which one is the game then? Or are all these the game? Like the drawings that they used? Right, I don't know if it's just me, it probably just is, but the third and the fourth one, the first two pictures, are kind of creeping me out. Because you could just see its eye and then black on its eye. And I always imagine it turning to look at me like, oof. But it's just me, probably. Because I really want that to happen. Like now, look. I want his eye to move, and that'd be quite cool. Oh well.
What the Sphinx of Giza represented during its construction and how the Sphinx was perceived by the Egyptians of the New Kingdom are two very different matters. Originally a representation of the king imbued with the power of the lion, the Sphinx was eventually viewed as a direct representation of the Most Divine. It is theorized that kings of the New Kingdom believed that the Sphinx of Giza was the one who recognized and legitimized the ruler of Egypt. Thus, despite the fact the Sphinx of Giza was partially buried under the sand during his reign, Amenhotep II knew that the monument was of great importance.
Okay. Okay. Ooh.
Amenhotep II built a second temple dedicated for the Sphinx as Horemakhet to pay homage to Khufu and Khafre, his predecessors. It became a common habit for this dynasty to spend time with their royal courts at the Sphinx. Its sanctuary became known as Setepet, the Chosen.
Cool.
Egyptologist Mark Lehner believed that Amenhotep II built a statue of himself anchored between the paws of the Sphinx, likely to legitimize his reign, alongside a stela found by Salim Hassan. Many other pharaohs of this dynasty, such as Tutankhamun and Ramses II, also left marks of their passage in a similar fashion, sometimes even stripping the stones of nearby temples and pyramids to do so. Amenhotep II's son and successor, Thutmose IV, was a frequent offender.
Oh no, that looks cool. Well, to me it does. Oh. Just get comfy for a minute, because this is going to be a long one. That's it. Okay. Oh. Okay.
While sleeping between the Sphinx's paws, the future Thutmose IV saw in a dream the god Horamakhet proclaiming his coming accession on the throne of the two lands. This was, of course, on the condition that he remove all of the sand covering the Sphinx, which stood guard as the personification of the god, and should thus never be engulfed by the sands of the desert.
Oh, that just looks more creepy. Is it buried in more sand? Yeah, I think it is. Oh, I wonder if he did that. Let's find out if he did.
The 15-ton dream stela built by Thutmose IV to commemorate his dream was discovered by an Italian Egyptologist, Giovanni Battista Caviglia, in 1818, when he undertook the task of freeing the Sphinx from the sand, which had, yet again, covered it. Caviglia was looking for an entrance into the structure of the Sphinx, but instead he discovered an open-air chapel and stelas between the paws. Ashes from a ceremony were still present. Protected by sand, they quite possibly were from the last ceremonies in Roman times.
Huh. Okay, we haven't got long left now.
That same year, Caviglia discovered fragments of the Sphinx's beard that had probably been added during the New Kingdom. If many of these pieces are held by museums in Cairo, a fragment is displayed at the British Museum, along with a piece of the uraeus that was on the Sphinx's headdress. It is believed this fragment of beard was possibly kept in place thanks to the statue of Amenhotep II, which was supposed to be located under the head of the Sphinx.
Huh. Oh yeah, the beard is gone. Is the thing on his chin.
A popular cultural legend purports that the nose of the Sphinx of Giza was lost during the time of Napoleon Bonaparte to the cannon fire of French soldiers in training. However, engravings from before the time of that campaign already depicted the Sphinx without a nose, indicating that it had been removed before the French campaign.
Well, yeah. Looks weird with a nose now, though, looking at it. Looks more creepy like that, as I've said. Okay, we go. One more.
The most plausible hypothesis is based on the research of the German historian Ulrich Harman. During the 1980s, Harman compiled medieval sources written by Arab authors. In doing so, he discovered that the Sphinx was once perceived as a favorable omen, a deity supporting sediment-nurturing floods and crops. Around 1378, a Sufi by the name of Muhammad Sa'im al-Dar could not stand this vision of the monument, and in an iconoclastic act, broke the nose of the Sphinx. According to the texts, he was then hanged and burned between the legs of the Sphinx for his crime.
What, wait. What? Can I listen to that one again?
The most plausible hypothesis is based on the research of the German historian Ulrich Harman. During the 1980s, Harmon compiled medieval sources written by Arab authors. In doing so, he discovered that the Sphinx was once perceived as a favorable omen, a deity supporting sediment-nurturing floods and crops. Around 1378, a Sufi by the name of Muhammad Sa'im al-Dar could not stand this vision of the monument, and in an iconoclastic act, broke the nose of the Sphinx. According to the texts, he was then hanged and burned between the legs of the Sphinx for his crime.
Good. How dare that guy break the nose of the Sphinx? Okay. Let me just climb on top of it now. Over on his high. Ooh. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave this episode here. I love this new mode. Absolutely love it. Because I love learning about history. And especially the history of ancient Egypt. If you guys want to see me do more tours on my channel, then feel free to tell me on my Facebook, my Twitter, the comments below, anywhere. But for now though, leave a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more. And I will catch you guys later. Bye guys!